The gentle hum of bees filled the air as the Buddha walked through the lush gardens of Jetavana monastery. Disciples followed behind, their footsteps soft on the earth, their hearts eager for his wisdom. He stopped by a blooming tree, its branches heavy with fragrant blossoms, and gestured for his followers to sit. "Look at this tree," the Buddha began, his voice calm, flowing like a stream of clear water. "Its flowers bloom gloriously now, but soon they will wither and fall. Such is the nature of life." Among the disciples, young Ananda spoke, his brow furrowed in thought. "But Master, does not the fading of beauty bring sadness and fear to many?" The Buddha turned his compassionate gaze to Ananda, his eyes reflecting the depths of timeless understanding. "Sadness arises from clinging, Ananda," he replied. "It is our attachment to permanence that causes suffering. By focusing on the breath, you transcend the illusions of time and embrace the truth of your immediate experience," Buddha shared. The disciples breathed mindfully, their minds quieting, their thoughts settling, discovering the profound simplicity of existing in the here and now. It flows continuously, changing its course but never ceasing. A bird chirped nearby, its melody punctuating the stillness of the moment. As the Buddha's words resonated deeply, "Consider this, Ananda," he said, "when a river meets obstacles, it does not resist or despair. It simply flows around them." The disciples nodded in agreement, their understanding deepening as they connected the metaphor to their own lives. "So too must we accept the changes of our bodies and lives," the Buddha added. He continued, "Like clouds passing in the sky, thoughts come and go, but the breath remains, a constant thread of life. Your task is to witness the breath without judgment, without attachment, and let its constancy guide you," Buddha said. The disciples practiced breathing, their minds surrendering distractions, their hearts embracing the simplicity Buddha described with reverence. "Breathing is universal," Buddha said. "It unites all beings and connects them to the flow of existence surrounding and within." Ananda asked again, "Master, how do we balance awareness of the breath with life's demands and inevitable challenges?" Buddha responded, "Breathing teaches patience and presence. These qualities become the foundation for navigating life's complexities with grace." She saw only her frailty, her loss, her suffering, he said. She did not see the wisdom she carried, the strength of her spirit. The disciples exchanged glances, their respect for their teacher growing as they absorbed the profound insights he shared. "I told her," the Buddha continued, "that a withered tree can still provide shade. Its roots still nourish the earth." The afternoon sun filtered through the trees, casting patterns of light and shadow on the ground as the Buddha spoke. "Aging is not an end but a transformation," he explained. Ananda asked, "Master, does mindful breathing cultivate happiness and release from suffering? Or is it merely a temporary solace?" Buddha replied, "Mindful breathing is neither temporary nor fleeting. It is a path to lasting serenity and happiness within the present. This body," he said, gesturing to himself, "as a vessel, it carries us for a time. But it is not who we are." His words seemed to hang in the air, each syllable resonating with truth and clarity, touching the hearts of his followers. "To fear aging," the Buddha said, "is to fear a sunset, to mourn its beauty before night has fallen." The disciples reflected silently, the gravity of his teachings taking root in their thoughts, shifting their perspectives. "Embrace aging as you would the seasons," the Buddha advised. "Each one has its own beauty, its own lessons to teach." The Buddha motioned for Ananda to rise and walk with him, their steps slow and deliberate on the monastery path. "Life is impermanent, Ananda," the Buddha said, his voice steady as the rhythm of their steps. "But impermanence is not sorrowful." Ananda listened intently, his youthful curiosity melding with the wisdom imparted by his revered teacher. Impermanence is what makes life precious, the Buddha explained. Without change, there would be no growth, no discovery, no transcendence. The monks following at a respectful distance felt their hearts swell with gratitude for the guidance of the enlightened one. When you let go of what no longer serves you, he said, you discover the strength to carry what truly does. The man smiled for the first time, a glimmer of hope shining in his eyes. Yes, Master, Ananda said, his tone reflecting his attention and reverence. This leaf has fallen. Yet it is not useless, the Buddha said. Buddha gestured to the sky. See the clouds drifting. They do not resist the wind, but flow with it effortlessly. Likewise, the Buddha said, our years nourish the present. Our actions inspire those who follow. Our wisdom ripens. The sun, now lower in the sky, painted the surroundings in golden hues, an apt backdrop to the Buddha's teachings. He handed the leaf to Ananda, who held it with care, as if it were a sacred object carrying profound meaning. Aging is not to be feared, the Buddha continued, his voice firm yet compassionate. This is life's rhythm, Buddha said, his voice steady. When you breathe deeply, you align with the universe's natural pulse. What matters, the Buddha concluded, is not how long we live, but how wisely and compassionately we tread life's path. Ananda's young face reflected a newfound understanding, his fears of aging easing as he absorbed the Buddha's wisdom. Once, a farmer lost his ox. Distraught, he searched wildly, his mind clouded with panic and despair. Remember, Ananda, the Buddha said, the river flows, the seasons turn, and in each moment there is both an end and a beginning. The disciples rose as the Buddha continued walking, his steps purposeful, his presence a guiding light in their lives. Above them, the sky began to transition, its colors shifting, a living illustration of impermanence, beauty, and hope. Another day, another gathering, as the Buddha sat amidst the peaceful monastery gardens, his disciples assembling for the evening teachings. The light of the setting sun painted the sky in shades of amber, its warmth touching all who were present. A soft breeze carried the faint scent of blooming jasmine, blending harmoniously with the tranquility of the moment. A young monk approached the Buddha, his posture humble and his expression troubled by unseen burdens. Blessed One, the monk said, bowing deeply, I am weary of the passage of time, fearful of what aging may bring. The Buddha regarded the monk with compassion, his gaze steady and filled with understanding of the universal suffering. Do you remember Nakulapita, the householder devoted to the path of Dharma? The Buddha asked, his voice a gentle cadence. The disciples around him listened intently, their hearts attentive to the narrative woven into the teachings. Nakulapita came to me, the Buddha began, plagued by a similar fear, seeking refuge from the anguish of aging and impermanence. The disciples exchanged glances, intrigued by the story and its relevance to their own struggles and concerns. The Buddha continued, his voice smooth like the flow of a calm river, each word resonating with clarity. Kunda asked again, Master, how can we maintain this rhythm when life overwhelms us, and peace feels out of reach? Practice, Buddha replied, through consistent mindfulness. The rhythm of your breath becomes a refuge no challenge can disrupt. Cultivate wisdom and compassion, the Buddha said, and you will transcend the limitations of the physical form with grace and dignity. The young monk nodded hesitantly, his troubled heart beginning to shift with the gentle reassurances of the enlightened one. Buddha shared another tale. There was a merchant burdened by his possessions, his steps heavy, his heart weighed by his own choices. Do you see the elder sitting among us? The Buddha asked, gesturing towards an elderly monk resting under the Bodhi tree. The young monk looked at the elder, observing the lined face and the slow, deliberate movements that came with age. The merchant, realizing his folly, left the sack behind. His breaths grew deep, his steps light, his heart free. The disciples studied the elder, finding inspiration in his serene demeanor, his eyes reflecting countless lessons learned. The Buddha continued, weaving his words like threads forming a tapestry of truth, one rich with interconnected meanings. Every wrinkle, every gray strand of hair, tells a story of perseverance, growth, and understanding gained through life's trials. The soft rustle of leaves accompanied the Buddha's voice, the natural world harmonizing with the profound truths being shared. The elder before you has faced the winds of change, accepting impermanence as the foundation of the Dharma, he said. The young monk lowered his head, humbled by the realization that aging carried gifts often overlooked in the pursuit of youth. Look not upon the lines of the face as marks of loss, but as symbols of a life deeply lived, the Buddha advised. The disciples reflected silently, finding themselves moved by the wisdom of their teacher, each word encouraging growth and resilience. The disciples breathed deeply, their bodies steady, their minds calm, their hearts filled with the peace of Buddha's wisdom. Buddha concluded, life's rhythm is not found in resistance, but in surrender, in embracing each moment with awareness and gratitude. He continued, through deep breathing, you align with this rhythm, discovering strength in surrender and peace in acceptance. The banyan tree stood witness to their practice, its branches swaying gently, as though breathing with them in shared harmony. Thank you, Blessed One, the young monk said, his gratitude echoing the sentiments shared by all present. The Buddha nodded, his serene presence offering solace and encouragement to those around him, a beacon amidst life's uncertainties. Aging is not the closing of a door but the opening of many others, the Buddha said, his voice unwavering. The disciples exchanged smiles, their hearts lightened by the profound truths, the words planting seeds of acceptance within them. Each stage of life brings its own wisdom, its own opportunities to deepen our understanding and compassion. The Buddha continued, his teachings flowed like the gentle stream winding through the monastery gardens, bringing clarity and peace to all who listened. Nature holds no attachments, yet it flourishes in harmony, its beauty unclouded by burdens. Buddha continued, human beings often cling to desires, fears, and grudges, unaware that these attachments are the roots of suffering. Sit comfortably, Buddha instructed, and with each exhale, imagine releasing one burden, one weight, from your heart and mind. With every inhale, breathe in lightness, joy, and the simple beauty of being present in this moment, Buddha said gently. The disciples followed his words, their breaths carrying away invisible weights, their bodies growing lighter with each rhythmic cycle. Buddha shared a story. The sun dipped below the horizon, its golden light fading, yet leaving behind the promise of a new dawn. The disciples walked with the Buddha, their hearts filled with gratitude for his presence, their minds contemplative of his truths. The monastery gardens echoed with silence, the kind that follows profound revelation, a stillness rich with understanding. Aging, the Buddha said as he walked, is an invitation to look within, to find the treasures hidden beneath the surface of impermanence. The disciples nodded, their spirits attuned to his wisdom, carrying his words as lanterns to illuminate their paths. Each step you take, each breath you draw, is a moment to live fully, a chance to cultivate wisdom, the Buddha said. His teachings resonated deeply, transforming fear into a quiet acceptance, a peace born of understanding impermanence. The sky above shifted to deep shades of indigo, the stars emerging one by one, illuminating the infinite vastness of existence. With each breath, embrace the truth of impermanence, for it teaches you to let go and welcome peace, Buddha explained. The lightness of being arises When you release resistance and accept life's natural flow of change, Buddha said calmly. He knelt by the stream, cupping its cool waters in his hand, letting them slip away as his disciples watched. This stream flows, ever changing, yet it remains a stream, the Buddha said, his voice carrying the clarity of his insight. So too are we, ever changing yet constant in our essence, flowing with the rhythm of impermanence. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts brimming with gratitude for the truths illuminated by their teacher's words. The Buddha rose, his movements deliberate and serene, his presence an enduring inspiration to those who followed him. Let this day be a reminder, the Buddha said, that the fear of aging can be replaced with a quiet acceptance. He turned toward his disciples, his gaze steady, his eyes reflecting the boundless compassion he held for all beings. The disciples followed as the Buddha led them back to the monastery, their hearts lighter, their minds filled with newfound perspective. Each step they took carried the echoes of his teachings, a journey toward embracing impermanence with grace. Above, the stars formed constellations, their light guiding the disciples as they walked, a metaphor for the illumination of the Dharma. The monastery gates welcomed them, a sanctuary of wisdom where the teachings of the Buddha flourished in every corner. The Buddha paused at the entrance, turning to face his disciples, his presence a source of calm and encouragement. Resentment and fear are chains. Release them, and you will discover the lightness of being, Buddha told his disciples. Sariputta asked, Master, does lightness of being mean we must abandon all attachments, even love and bonds with others? Buddha replied, No, love and bonds are sacred when they are free of possession and rooted in compassion and understanding. True lightness is not detachment from relationships but from the need to control and possess them. Buddha explained gently, love deeply and freely, but do not allow love to become a burden or a source of suffering, Buddha shared. The disciples pondered Buddha's words, their hearts reflecting on the balance between connection and the lightness he described. Buddha gestured to the banyan tree. The stars above bore witness to the unfolding of wisdom, illuminating the paths of those who sought understanding. The monastery rested under the vast sky, its peace uninterrupted, a sanctuary of insight guided by the enlightened one's compassion. The rhythm of life continued, impermanent yet eternal, a dance of existence embraced by those who walked its path. Another day, another gathering. As the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his disciples formed a quiet, attentive circle. Through mindful breathing, happiness arises not from possession, but from the simple act of being, Buddha said. The lightness of being is yours to discover. It is as close as your next breath, Buddha said, his voice tender. A middle-aged disciple approached, his steps slow, burdened by thoughts weighing heavily on his heart, his face marked by worry. Blessed One, the disciple began, bowing deeply, my heart is troubled by the fleeting nature of life and its many uncertainties. Buddha's teachings on the breath and lightness of being became their guide, a path to serenity and joy within their existence. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. The garden seemed to hold its breath, each flower and leaf a silent witness to Buddha's teaching. Master, another disciple asked, is it not selfish to guard truths, to keep them hidden from those who seek them? Buddha's eyes sparkled with understanding as he answered, truth guarded is truth respected. Channa, the Buddha continued, came to me, lamenting the impermanence of life, fearing the unknown and the passing of time. The disciples exchanged glances, their minds reflecting on their own worries, their hearts open to the wisdom unfolding before them. This tree, he said, began as a seed buried in the earth, unseen but alive with possibility. The disciples marveled at the tree, understanding for the first time the silent journey it had undertaken to reach its fullness. Growth, Buddha said, requires patience. The wise do not rush the process, for they know that timing is as important as effort. His words resonated deeply, sinking into the hearts of those who heard them. Much like the seed into the soil, one disciple, struggling to grasp the full meaning, asked, "Master, how can we know when the time is right to reveal truth?" Buddha turned to him, his gaze kind but firm. "Listen to the rhythm of life," he said. "Truth reveals itself when the soil is fertile, the rains fall, and the sun shines." The disciples nodded, their reverence for the Buddha growing as his words wove clarity into their understanding of existence. The present moment, the Buddha explained, is a precious gift, fleeting yet infinite in its potential for growth and insight. He gestured to the flowers around them, their vibrant colors reflecting the fleeting beauty that graced the monastery grounds. "These flowers bloom today, their fragrance filling the air," the Buddha said, "but tomorrow they may wither and return to the earth." It is presence, a space where transformation takes root. The disciples reflected on his words, their minds turning inward, seeking the fertile ground within themselves. The disciple who had spoken earlier felt his heart lighten, the weight of his fears easing as understanding began to dawn. Channa came to see, the Buddha said, that impermanence is not to be feared, but to be accepted with grace. It simply reaches for the light. Trusting the process, he paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. Like rain sinking into the soil, the wise plant seeds of truth with care, he said. They do not force growth but trust in the unfolding of life. His voice was steady, each word carrying the depth of his enlightenment, a beacon guiding those who sought the Dharma. When we dwell on the past or fear the future, the Buddha continued, we miss the beauty and opportunities of the present. The greatest truth is the journey, he said. For in the journey, wisdom is born, not from arrival but from every step. The Buddha nodded, his expression serene, his presence a source of unwavering encouragement and hope for those who followed him. Remember, the Buddha said, impermanence is not an enemy but a teacher, guiding us to cherish and make the most of life. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts united in reverence and gratitude for the wisdom shared by their beloved teacher. Live fully in each moment, the Buddha said, for it is in the present that we find peace, purpose, and joy. The sun climbed higher in the sky, its light bathing the garden, as if to bless the moment, and in the stillness that followed, the seed of wisdom began its quiet journey toward the light. The path to understanding is not easy, Buddha replied, but it is illuminated by the light within each of us. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. Balance between effort and rest, ambition and contentment, self and others. The disciples pondered these words, their minds turning inward to assess their own imbalances and how to correct them. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.